what's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we have an amazing show for you here today. As you join the live stream, let me know that you hear me loud and clear. Please press a 1 if you hear me loud and clear out there as you're joining. And I will finish getting set up here, and we can get this episode started. Good. I can hear that. So what's up, fight fans? I'm getting on a little bit early today. We have Wednesday night fights today. Jaleel Hackett, right? I mean, not Jaleel Hackett. What am I talking about? Hurts. He's gonna be fighting today. Hold on. I was just thinking about Jaleel too. That's why I was talking to my friend about him. There's a lot being said right now about this Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis situation, and what everybody feels that Tank and Shakur is doing, and who's taking the fight and who's not taking the fight. Jared Hurt, Rosario, Jared Hurt. He really never became that mega superstar a lot of people thought he was going to be. He ended up losing some fights that's what I talk about when you want to be you want to reach that pinnacle in sports, in boxing. You got to win the big fights. And Gerald Hurt, unfortunately, he just didn't get over that mountain, and then he kind of like took a step back. So, we'll see tonight what happens tonight in that fight. But let's talk about one of the biggest fights of the year, in which I believe Naoya Inoue is one of the biggest superstars we have today in boxing. He has a lot of buzz coming in behind him, as much as any other superstar. Naoya Inoue is clearly making a statement in boxing. He's currently going to make his second title defense to all 4 belts, undisputed status, coming in September 3rd against TJ Dohney. Now, that fight in itself is going to be very exciting. TJ Dohney, a lot could be said about him, but I'm not sleeping on this guy at all. I'm not. This is a tough Irishman. And as we know, when you come into a fight of this magnitude for 4 belts, it's going to really bring the best out of you. TJ Dohney, he has the opportunity to really go out there and solidify himself in the Hall of Fame and amongst some of the best fighters in the world if he can pull off this victory versus Naoya Inoue. Because I don't know too many people out there right now that are giving TJ Dohney a shot in this fight for as dominant as Naoya Inoue has been. But coming off of his last fight, he was dropped in that fight. And it kind of takes this cloak of invincibility off the monster. When the boxing world saw that Naoya Inoue went down in that fight, that was kind of like, if he can do it, I can do it type thing, right? Luis Pantera Nari is not considered to be among some of the best boxers in the world. And they're talking like Naoya Inoue, and I am talking like he's the best fighter in the world. Now, I understand you are in a fight, and you're probably going to get hit in a fight, right? And you going down is one of the possibilities. But it's what you do when you get back up. And that's what separates Naoya Inoue from most fighters. He never looks like he wants out of the fight. He went down, he got up, he took control of the fight, and then knocked Luis Pantera out in a way that would consider that knockout a knockout of the year candidate. Not only did he get up off the ground, but he also initiated his attack. And boy, was it impressive to watch. TJ Dohney, like many fighters out there, when they saw Naoya Inoue go down, they all said, up, he can be dropped. He can be dropped. Now Naoya Inoue has to come into a fight and be really dominant as a performance, not only for himself as a fighter, to get that mojo back. Let's remember, Naoya Inoue has never been put down in his entire career, nor amateur nor professional. He doesn't know what it's like to be down on the mat. All he knows is how to put the guys down on the mat. That's all he knows how to do. So when that happened as a fighter such as Naoya Inoue, he's like the Tom Brady's and the Michael Jordan of boxing. They really, that bothered him, and it's still bothering him. And until he gets that out of his head, he's going to go out there. And I said this, I feel bad for whoever they get to get in the ring with Naoya Inoue after that Luis Pantera Nari little situation. Even though he didn't lose the fight and he won the fight in spectacular fashion, that's still not enough for a man like Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is, he wants to send a statement to anybody else that was looking on. That was a fluke, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen to anyone that comes after my throne. And I said it. And look, Sam Goodman backpedaled out of that fight with Naoya Inoue. Sam Goodman is supposed to be fighting him right now. And by the way, people will come on and say that Naoya Inoue picked TJ Dohney, that he picked him, that Naoya Inoue is fighting a duck, and that Naoya Inoue ain't fighting anybody right now. Okay. That sounds like someone said something. It almost does, almost. But when you could see bullshit, you call it for what it is. Let's break that down. Wait a minute. Naoya Inoue doesn't pick any fight. His management does. Bullshit statement number one. I thought he had top rank in his other promoter and managers that take care of all of that. Naoya Inoue doesn't pick anyone. Right? Okay. Yeah, that's why you would have a promotional company for. Oh, that's right. 2, who else would you like him to fight? I'll wait. Please leave it in your comments below. Then, no sooner that you type that guy, tell me why that guy didn't pick up the phone and call Naoya Inoue. Why isn't he fighting Naoya Inoue? Just answer that question. Why isn't anyone, when Sam Goodman pulled out of the fight, why didn't all of a sudden all the opportunities present themselves? As a matter of fact, isn't Stephen Kubo Fulton scheduled to fight on the Saul Canelo Alvarez card with Edgar Berlanga? Why, yes, he is. Is that the third fight card he was scheduled to be on? Why, yes, it is. Isn't that September 14th? And Naoya Inoue's fight is September 3rd? So Stephen Kubo Fulton could have been ready to come back to try to get a shot back at his 2 belts that Naoya Inoue has. What happened? What happened to everybody else in the 122-pound weight division? I'll wait. And I mean, name anyone. Anyone. He's already cleaned out the division. He beat the top guys and the number 1 guy. 2 undisputed champions and the number 1 guy is what he's done so far. Sam Goodman was the other number 1 guy and he backed out. Who's left? That's why a lot of us want to see Naoya Inoue leave the 122-pound weight division, because technically, I don't think there's anybody there that can fight him. If I'm being honest, wait a minute. Why don't we look up the 122-pound weight division while we're sitting right here? Right? Where are we right here? That's 175. We got to go way down. Here we go. All right, that's 135. Okay, let's keep going. 2 more weight divisions, I think. Here we are. So, as far as right now, because that's his picture right there, okay? And you can see Naoya Inoue's picture on my screen, right? Okay, Stephen Kubo Fulton is still ranked in this division, and he's the number 1 guy. So if you're thinking, oh no, Stephen Kubo Fulton's moving up in weight, Stephen Kubo Fulton might have, no, he is still ranked at 122. And as a matter of fact, he's the number 1 guy at 122. He'd rather fight on Saul Canelo Alvarez's card than rather spin the block and try to get back against Naoya Inoue for his 2 belts. But yet, Naoya Inoue is picking these lackluster fights. They're trying to paint it to you like this is Naoya Inoue's fault. This is not Naoya Inoue's fault. Let's just all keep in mind who he was supposed to be fighting. Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman pulled out of the fight and it left Naoya Inoue with no dancing partner. Then Sam Goodman goes into this fight and breaks his hands. So who was left? Who spoke up? Where's Casamara? Where's everybody else? Look. And then MJ and his management, I saw what Bob Arum said on social media about MJ's promoter. I saw what MJ was tweeting back. I saw that they had communication, but you mean to tell me you couldn't figure it out? Look, people, there's a certain point in boxing where you got to make a gamble, a risk. You got to dare to be great. You got to do legendary shit. Sometimes there are men in the sport that recognize that. It's not about money. It's about beating that guy and taking his status and becoming the top dog at the top. Mayweather knew that. He came into the fight against Oscar De La Hoya. He took less money. He let Oscar De La Hoya put him through the ringer. Oscar De La Hoya picked the ring. He picked the gloves. I think he even picked the judges. Oscar De La Hoya picked everything. Everything. And Mayweather said yes. And he gave Oscar De La Hoya the lion's share of the pot on that night. Because Mayweather knew with this sacrifice, there comes reward. And he knew he was going to take a gamble. And he knew that he was going to come out on top and that gamble was going to pay off. And sure the hell it did. So if MJ wanted this fight for 4 belts, that Oscar De La Hoya Mayweather fight was not for 4 belts. So this is a bigger opportunity. Whatever Naoya Inoue basically would have said, I probably would have agreed to. Unless he said, I want my mom as the referee. Then I would have been like, hold up. Maybe your uncle, but not your mom. She's too close to you. Oh, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I would have agreed to all terms. So that goes to show you that Marlon Tapales is not on that level where he's just like thinking, yeah, I want to chase legacy. No, he wants to get treated like the A side. He wants an opportunity out all 4 belts. He wants to call shots. Brother, this is not your train. We're not getting on your ride. You're getting on ours. And Naoya Inoue is a 4-belt champion. If you were really chasing legacy and you really thought you could beat him and you wanted that fight because you were saying, listen, you didn't have to do much work. This guy did all the work for you. He went and collected all the belts, all that hard work, and you stand to win it all on one night. You must be out of your mind. To get me to say no to that kind of offer, listen, I don't care what the offer was. Did you say 4 belts? Let's go. That's it. that even sharing the ring with him. But some of these guys don't want to take risk, and they want to play this duck thing. All you got to do on social media is say the opposite or what you're actually doing, and some people will believe you. They won't do no investigation. They're calling Naoya Inoue a cherry pick fight against TJ Dohney right now, and TJ Dohney is ranked number 2 in the world. And they're calling TJ Dohney a cherry pick. Go figure that you can be the number 2 fighter in the world and they still call you a cherry pick. That's not good enough for the fans that are talking shit about Naoya Inoue because they got nothing else to talk about. Because when you're the greatest fighter or you're the greatest in your sport, they're always going to hate you because they ain't you. All these guys that are pointing their finger at Naoya Inoue, let's see what they did in their career. How good of a fighter are they? You want to start pointing fingers at one of the greatest champions we have today? I wouldn't let you do that to Terrence Crawford, and I won't let you do it to him. No, because the best are the best, and these men deserve it, and these women deserve it. Terrence Crawford did some unbelievable shit, and that's why he's the man he is. And this Japanese fighter right here is one of the best fighters we have today. There's a star almost in every weight division right now, almost in every weight division. And that's fucking exciting for boxing because usually it was like one weight division or two. And it was like those two that were moving up. And they were usually glamour divisions that are in boxing, usually typically the 135, 140, 147, right around in that range right there. We have some great 130 champions. It seems like everybody starts there, but they end up as amazing champions, usually around 140, 135, right in there is when like the peak of the best fighters in the world, including Floyd. That's when they shine the most. Right in those divisions right there between like 147 and 130. Let's count 130 right in there, you know? So that's why I say right now that if you're really getting to know Naoya Inoue as a fighter, it's because of a reason. It's because you as fans know what you see with your eyes. You're attracted to him because your eyes are telling you the truth, aren't they? What do you see? What are they saying? Does it match up? No. But here at Round One Sports Talk, if you're here, welcome. Welcome, because here we speak the truth. And this is where you're going to, Naoya Inoue and his fans are going to get the respect that he deserves. A lot of people are not even talking about this fight. And this is one of the greatest fighters we have today. When we're not watching Terrence Crawford or the Tank Davises of the world or the Usyks of the world, at least we have Naoya Inoue to keep boxing interesting. If you want to keep fights going in, like all season, watching the top guys, we have a great selection in boxing right now. Sometimes it's hard to get some of these guys into the ring, as we're going to see with Naoya Inoue and TJ Dohney. Listen, TJ Dohney, I don't understand how the hell he's being called the duck when he saved the day. He saved the day. Had it not been for him, who else would have got in the ring with Naoya Inoue? I'll wait. Please put it in the comment section. I'd love to hear right now. And if I'm saying anything wrong here, like, come on. If I'm speaking the truth, type 1. If I'm speaking the truth, in the comment section, press 1 right now. Listen, TJ Dohney saved us. Who else was? Listen, and a lot of guys were ready. There's a few guys that don't even have fights scheduled that could have took this fight. There's guys that were trying to book a fight, Stephen Kubo Fulton, and still didn't take this fight. And it's scheduled on the same month, just days out from his fight. Yeah. So, like, look, when they're going to tell you these false narratives about the Naoya Inoue guy, and you hear this cherry pick kind of talk, just recognize and remember that the alleged cherry pick that they're talking about is ranked number 2 in the world. Just remember that. So, look, I think that no matter who gets in this ring with Naoya Inoue, you're going to get the best version of that opponent every single time. Because the cat's out of the bag. Naoya Inoue is the lottery fight. He is. If you ever wanted anything in boxing and you wanted to go down and talked about the men and women that did it the best, and you want at least your name to be brought up in conversations for your hard work and your body of work, if you want to be talked about like those kind of men, that's what kind of man Naoya Inoue made himself. He made himself that kind of man. Just think about that. Everything you ever wanted in boxing, all the status, all the recognition, all the Hall of Fame credentials can go down in one night. Are you out of your freaking mind if I'm not going in there and I'm giving it everything I got? You literally probably would have to kill me. Because I ain't giving up. That's an opportunity of a lifetime. Wherever I'm from, my name, they'll make statues out of me, bro. I guarantee it. Listen, Luis Pantera Nares was celebrated in certain parts of Mexico for knocking down Naoya Inoue. Just for that. Some people took that more than the win. They rather kept joking about that than the outcome. If you ask Luis Pantera's fans, they didn't look past that knockdown. They stopped the fight right there. They don't play no more of the fight. And they got him up on his shoulders over that. Imagine if you beat him. Imagine if you beat him. What happened when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson? What happened to Buster Douglas' life? What happened to Buster Douglas right now? Buster Douglas did nothing in his entire career. No one even knew his name. He definitely wasn't going to Hall of Fame. He didn't win another fight after Mike Tyson. And guess where he went? The entire world knows who Buster Douglas is. Everyone knows about that. They know the place. They know what shit. People know what time it was. Everything. One fight changed that man's life. Financially, legendary status of beating one guy. That's what that kind of fight can do for you. He beat an undisputed world champion in Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas. He was undisputed champion of the world. One fight, life-changing. That's why everyone that goes into fight Naoya Inoue, you can't sleep on none of them dudes. I don't care if you don't know their names. How many times did a relatively no-name fighter come in and shock the world? How many times have we seen that? How many times did they almost pull it off? Let me tell you something. That Russian dude that Jaron Boots Ennis fought under short notice, hereditary unknown name fighter, they didn't really know much about him. What happened on that night? Jaron Boots Ennis had a puzzle to figure out and found out this ain't no cherry pick. Then guys see that kind of performance that dude puts up and they want to avoid him. Because now, he had that one great night against that one dude. We've seen this time and time again in boxing. And that's why I know that this fight against Naoya Inoue is an exciting fight. I'm tuning in and I'm going to watch this fight. Every single time he fights, I want to watch him fight. Every time I watch him fight, I learn something new. I see a different style, a different tactic. I see different things about boxing, and I learn things about fighting for myself. I see, look, truthfully, man, like Naoya Inoue has shown me punch selections that I didn't even think possible in the moment. Like that's how far and boxing is evolving. And then as I look down to our young prospects, I start to see their development even looking even more impressive. And I see that boxing in itself is starting to change. You're starting to see all these other countries competing well. It used to be like an American dominant sport, boxing. For God's sake, we don't want to talk about world titles and what country, because there's no one even close to America. So at some point, we got to draw a line in the sand, and kind of like start over a little bit and put the pressure on us again, see if we can take back over. Because I think some of these guys just are a little laxy daisy when it comes to getting these titles, and the way that our fighters are coming around today talk about belts don't matter. And what are you saying to the next young boxer that's coming up? Get the bag, the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. I don't play NFL football to say fuck the Vince Lombardi trophy at the end. I'm good enough with the division championship. I don't have to win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl rings don't mean shit. I'm better than Tom Brady. I don't have none. Does that even sound right? Does that even sound right? You look at them and you just be like, you walk away. You mean to tell me you're better than Tom Brady, but you don't got no rings? But in boxing, they're trying to tell you belts don't matter. I don't need a belt to get the bag. What you mean? At the end of your career, they're going to ask you, okay, you got a lot of money. What'd you do? Where are your belts? How many divisions you got? One division, one belt. Well, you ain't getting in this building. Not with one belt and one division. Did you defend it 99 times in a row? Some remarkable shit. What'd you do? So, if you want your name talked among the legends, you got to do some shit. Naoya Inoue has all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions, and the world wants to see what he says after this fight. Shall he be successful and win the fight against TJ Dohney? We want to know who's left at 122. As we were going to start talking about that, right? That's where we were. Look, he's beat everybody in the division already. I don't think Price, Pescalo, I don't think none of these guys. Marlon Tapales is number 2. Stephen Kubo Fulton is number 1. MJ is number 3. Goodman is number 4. Luis Pantera is number 5. Davis is number 6. Doheny is number 7. Price is number 8. And the 8 top guys I just named right now, none of those guys are going to beat him. And in fact, he pretty much basically dominated the first row. He beat Stephen Kubo Fulton, Marlon Tapales. He punked Goodman, and he knocked out Luis Pantera Nari. The only one that he didn't really fight yet is MJ, and I don't think he wants to fight him. So I don't really think that there's anything at 122 anymore that, to tell you the truth, the fight fans are going to be like, yeah, like, I think this fight right here, I think he should start thinking about moving up to 126, where that we feel that the challenges are going to be greater for the Japanese superstar. I think so too, because at 126 you got oh wait, let's back that up. Let me give a little bit credit here to let's see here. Yeah, it's the same suspects. I thought maybe number 1, whatever, and we'd miss anybody really like of great importance. It's the same people in all the weight divisions ranked all up the belts. There's nobody really Raymond. That's it. Like, nah, there's just nobody at 122 for him. Yeah, I think he should just move up to 126. You know, wow, they still got Wood as champion there at 126. No, he's the number one contender, right? Wood ain't champion, is he? Angelo Leo is the newly acquired IBF champion. And then Espinoza still got the WBO, right? Ray Vargas still got the WBC, and Nick Bell got the okay. So he's the number one contender. Wood. I thought Wood already moved up in weight. That's why I was like, Wood, huh? But yeah, he's the number one. And Leo, they should take him off the number two because they got to upgrade this page. They got to upgrade the page. That's all. Yeah, because Leo's now the champion. So where did that put Lopez? See, so as far as the champions, though, they got him right. So we could talk about that. As far as the champions, the WBO champion is Espinoza. Um, um, Naoya Inoue can immediately challenge him with the WBO title that he held at 122. That's his ticket so that he can guarantee that a champion fights him. Because as we all know, champions do not have to fight you, right? Okay. So, technically, no champion has to fight another champion. What happens is basically that you make an offer, and in negotiations, he'll take the fight, and that's how champions, they want to dare to be great, to unify as well. So they're both taking a shot at the belts, and that's how you get the title fights. But you can get a mandatory title fight with the WBO, which is this belt right here. That's the WBO. And with that belt, he can go to 126 and no champion will duck him. Like, meaning, if he was to vacate all his belts at 122 and just go up to 126, it's not a guarantee that a champion would fight him. But this way, there's a guaranteed. Now the WBO champion becomes his mandatory as soon as he activates that rule. Yep. Yep. So, and when he gets up there, fighting Espinoza off rip will send a message throughout the 126-pound weight division. Because as of right now, I think Espinoza is the toughest champion at 126. Espinoza. He's got one title defense, right? And he looked good in that title defense. And if you ask me, he looked better than Angelo Leo. He looks better than Bell. And he looks better than Ray Vargas. Espinoza. So at 122, I don't know if you guys are in agreement. I'm a type 1 if you're in agreement with me. Who do you think is the best champion at 126 that'll give Naoya Inoue the best challenge? Not a contender, because I know a couple contenders that are moving up 126 that I think will give Naoya Inoue a good fight, right? But they're not the champions. And as long as they're not the champions yet, he's not going to fight them. So those guys would have to come up. Like, for instance, look, Robersi is still in the mix. And I think Robersi is a good fighter. He's a smart fighter. He's a puncher, a boxer puncher. He can counter pretty well. The way he knocked out Nova in the corner like that, I think, he wants a shot back at his belt, but just in case, he should go after any other champion to secure a world title, just in case the Naoya Inoue train is on its way up there. Just in case. And if I was Robersi, I would try to really grab one of those belts, because any fight against Naoya Inoue, top rank and all of them, you might have to go to Japan to fight him, perhaps, but it really doesn't matter where you fight him. It doesn't matter. If Naoya Inoue comes to America, it's not like all his fighters in his weight division, turn into a bunch of American killers. No, they're the same people in his weight division. You're just fighting them on different continents of the world. But the square circle is the square circle. Home field advantage is a real thing, right? But when you think about the crowds in Japan, they're cheering just as much as for the opponent as they are for the champion. You can legitimately hear like corners talking in a Japan setting. They're so restrained. They're so well like humbled. They don't like to like brag. They think that it's disrespecting, gloating. You beat them, you beat them. Fair play. There's honor in losing. And there's honor in winning. You don't have to rub it in his face. So a Japan setting, when these guys are going out there to fight Naoya Inoue, it's not really like that home field advantage that we have in America, where our fans will let you know that you're in enemy's territory. As soon as you came out the dressing room, you would hear it. Ah, F this, F that. Yeah, you're going down. America. Japan, they're over here like this. You're walking out, they're like. So you don't really have that. So really going out to Japan to fight them, it's just another square circle for me. Yeah, when you come to think about it, in that environment, had you been going out to like Russia, France, or Ukraine, or anywhere else, I probably couldn't say that. Home field advantage would probably Australia. Home field advantage would probably be home field advantage out there. Because when Devin Haney went out to fight Camboza out there, and that was home field advantage. That was 100% home field advantage for the Australian. See what I'm saying? So not in this setting though. So they might have to go out there to fight him. But I think that the champions at 126, and I think Robesi is a good, but if we were just talking the champions that are today at 126, which champion do you think is going to give Naoya Inoue the best fight? And why can't I bring up you guys' comments right now? Why don't we do that? Because it's like, yo, Armando, how you guys doing in the building? You know what I mean? Let's go, let's go. Can we get those likes up? Let's get those likes up, guys. Armando, how you doing? Blakeman, how you doing? Bell, best 4, that's the best win. From 2017 to 2021, Naoya Inoue fought inside Japan 4 times and nobody went past 7 rounds. He is a beast anywhere. It doesn't matter where you put him on. You could put him on the moon. You could put him on anywhere. A fight, he's already understands himself as a fight. It's too late. Naoya Inoue is not the type of fighter that is going to be, captivated by the crowd. The lights are going to be too bright. The moment's going to be too big. That's not happening. That's not happening. He fought in front of 50,000 plus fans in that Tokyo arena. Once you do shit like that, 55,000 fans plus, like 50, there's no moment. What is he going to go do? Fight in America with 23,000 fans? You think that's going to impress him? 23,000 fans after fighting in front of 50,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So you right, Blake, man. It's just like it doesn't matter where you put him to fight. You are 100% for right. He's going to kick your ass regardless. Regardless. So, yeah. Okay, I agree. Naoya is staying in the 120-pound division, has gone dominating wins, but Tank's just a bigger guy. Tank is just he's got more body mass. When it comes to body density, Tank grows this way. Naoya Inoue has a skinny frame. He's skinny. Ironically, they're exactly the same height. Tank Davis is 5'5". Naoya Inoue is 5'5". But you see what they're doing to Tank Davis? That everybody is trying to like come down and get the super fight, but they want to weigh 180 pounds to beat him. That's why Tank is slapping those 10-pound rehydration claws, which is the best thing he could ever do. Tank Davis knows at the end of the day that he's good. And if you're going to beat me, then damn it, beat me on an even playing field. Why are you trying to be a middleweight, trying to come down here and beat me? You see? They trying to cheat him. And then they're trying to dress it up to the public like Tank Davis is scared because he's putting a 10-pound rehydration claw, when in fact, that's exactly what he needs to be doing. Tank needs to protect himself as a fighter because you can't beat him straight up. So what you got to do, you're going to try to weight bully Tank Davis. If Tank Davis was being a weight bully and putting a rehydration claw on you, why do you need a rehydration claw put on in place on you? You know why? Because you don't belong in this weight division. If somebody would have put a 10-pound rehydration claw on me and I was a natural 140-pounder, I would laugh. This is my weight division. I'm going to make that comfortably. But if you can't make this weight and you start arguing about a 10-pound rehydration claw, that's because you're trying to cheat. Because you can't make that weight. You want to squeeze down, get everything out of you, make the weight, and then blow up the night before 25 plus pounds. That's cheating, bro. You're not really in my weight division. Just because you could slim down and cut that weight and then try to put it on the next day, that's cheating, bro. So what Tank's doing is actually the right thing. Let me read some of y'all comments. Boxing Talk, what's up? What's up? Boxing Talk up north. It's going to be fire tonight. Well, let's see. Jared Hurt, man, listen, man. We all seen that he had his moments and his opportunities. Unfortunately, he's one of those types of fighters that never really got over the hump. If he had won some of those big fights and those big moments, he could have been there. Look at the Charlo twins fell apart. No one saw that coming. You know, I can't say at that time I would have known that both Charlo twins would have been, you know, they would have fell off the radar and he would have slid right in, right? He never really got over that hump. So let's see tonight. Let's see what he does. Both fighters are like, you know, they're at that part of their career already, which is, this is a real good matchmaking fight, I believe, right here. I like the style fight for where the both fighters are at in their career. This is a good fight. Whether or not he can pull off, you know, a good performance and be impressive so that people can take him and say, oh, he looks good, he looks focused, he might make another run for a title. You know, he let's see what he does. So let's see what happens tonight. Bring back same day weigh-ins? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. We've been down that road before. That's why we're at where we're at. Let me explain this to you. Check this out. Yeah, that's a huge step up. Check it out, right? Check it out. This is why we don't do same day weigh-ins anymore in boxing. Okay? Because coaches and fightings were complaining about this very thing. When you cut weight and you cut all the water out of your body, the first organ to empty out all its water is the human brain. When you start to replenish all your water that day, the last organ to take water in is the brain. You got to fill up your lungs, your kidney, the rest of your body with liquids that you dehydrate and electrolytes, right? So you're getting that all in you. Your last organ to accept water is the human brain. The way you get knocked out is when you're dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, the gap in between your brain and your skull widens like this because there's no water in your body. So if you get hit, you're getting knocked out faster. When you hit a fat guy, it's hard to knock them out because they're all filled with liquid. Heavyweights don't cut weight. So they're constantly properly hydrated. That's why it's so hard to knock out a fat dude versus a skinny dude. If you see like some dude cutting weight the same day, the fighters were saying, since every human body doesn't age the same, grow the same, right? There's no telling if your body works slower to take all your water in. You cut weight that morning, go in fight night, you're technically going to still be dehydrated. You're going to get knocked out like that. You're going to end up fucking up your body. It's because your body's going to record that. So the reason why we did weigh-ins the day before, it gives you a 32-hour window. Not 24 hours. It gives you a 32-hour window. From the moment you weigh in, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning on weigh-ins, right? You have the weigh-in. For the moment you make weight, your team's going to pass you a bottle of liquids. You're going to start drinking that. Boom, you're going to start getting all your vitamins in right then and there. You start from that moment. You have 32 hours that entire day and 11 o'clock at night the next day to replenish. And they deemed that so. So the Board of Boxing Athletic Commission, for the safety of fighters, did away with the same day weigh-ins. Yeah, because if your guy had this remarkable, and you can tell where that he can cut weight and get all the water in him fast, then stall the other fighter out. Make him weigh in at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. By that night at 11 o'clock, he ain't going to be replenished. You're going to knock him out. Yo, what's up? Ghost Rider, how you doing, Armando? They should use the 10-pound rehydration cloth from the IBF. The WBA has adopted that rule now. And in fact, they put it in versus Tank Davis and Frank the Ghost Martin. Because that 10-pound rehydration wasn't one that was issued by either fighter. Tank Davis didn't put that 10-pound rehydration cloth on Frank the Ghost Martin. The WBA did. So I think now, from now on, there's going to be 2 belts in boxing. You must meet that 10-pound. Because, brother, if you can't meet, this is not your weight division. Move up. Fight people your own size. Stop trying to be 6'1", 5'11", trying to fight at 126 pounds. Stop it. You know, Sebastian Fundora, fighters like that, Espinoza being the tallest 126 pounder in history, those guys are freaks of nature. Those guys, not everyone can do that. And then also fight. You might get a skinny guy, but there's not a lot of guys that understand fighting like that. To get that combination, that was deadly in its own. I think Sebastian Fundora is a big puzzle, you know, because he brings so much attributes to a fight. But he has a lot to learn. But he got this far because it goes to show you what he brings to the fight. Had he been the same height of everybody else, I don't think Sebastian Fundora is the champion he is today. Am I saying anything wrong? If you think I'm right, press 1, please. Yo, listen. Yeah, there's always weight bullies, my man. I'm trying to tell you. What's up, guys? Can we get these likes up? I got to tell you right now, man. Guys, I'm excited. I want to see Naoya Inoue back in the ring. I like seeing the best fight, and whenever we have a fighter like this, you know, it's just like the Tank Davis. They keeps me, and I like the way they kind of fighting. You know what I mean? Like I get them like every so often. So you know, we got the Terrence Crawford, we got that Tank. You know, the Shakur was a decent fight, but not the most exciting. I'm hoping he steps it up in his next fight. Man, Joe, yo, what the hell is wrong with Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis, man? They're not fighting. Look, I get it. There's a lot of people saying that Tank's ducking, Shakur's ducking. Tank's the A side. He has to send the contract. That's what most people are saying. And I'm kind of in agreement with that, right? But they said that Tank went into negotiation with Loma over a month ago. Why couldn't he go into negotiation with Shakur Stevenson? And I'm like, yo, are you guys not paying attention? Didn't you just see a judge give Tank Davis the permission to go to the Olympics? Yeah. Wasn't he just out in the Olympics? So, okay, when that fell through with Loma, he was over here concentrating on other stuff. He wasn't going into negotiation with no one else. When he came back, now I believe that Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis, I think it's a little pissing contest with Jay Prince, and the fact that Tank likes to be talked, to a certain way. Even Tank Davis told the Prince some shit, and they had a little back and forth. You see how Tank is, and I think if Shakur said anything remotely, Tank might have walked off and showed him, I don't need you. You need me. And this is kind of like Tank showing Shakur, when I call you for negotiation, don't play around with me. And if your manager, Jay Prince, he speaks for you. I might have not spoke to you, Shakur Stevenson, but if he says anything, he probably hung up the phone and they walked away from each other. Now it looks like he's ducking. But here's the truth of the matter. And tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think either of these men are scared of each other. If anybody in this fucking world can prove that Shakur Stevenson is scared of Tank Davis, I want to see where your proof is too. Because I believe this man is in the sport of fighting. He's not scared of anybody. I believe Tank Davis is a professional fighter. I don't believe he's scared of anybody. So about this, he's ducking, he's scared shit. Yo, get that shit out of your fucking head. Because these type of fighters ain't scared of no one. You better believe this is about money. And the reason why we're not getting this fight is because of money. It's because of management, promotional rights, TV networks. That's why we're not getting Shakur. And let me fill you in on a little secret that's not a secret, but you need to pay attention to this. Tank Davis, even though he's kind of like a free agent, GTV promotions, whatever, if I'm not mistaken, he did say he signed a $200 million Amazon Prime deal for 6 fights. That means you gave up your rights as a promoter, and they're promoting your fights. That means that they're paying you $200 million to pick your fights. So out of them 6 fights, Prime definitely got Shakur somewhere in those 6. Whether you move him around in whatever position, Prime's going to get that fight. Whether it's now or later, within them 6 fights that they paid him $200 million for, you better believe Shakur's in there. And Loma's in there. That's what Prime's going to try to get. But meanwhile, throughout all this bullshit, Prime got 1 or 2 fights to fuck around with. Because they're going to cash in on these. I guarantee it. Tank does not pick his fights for $200 million. I don't buy you for 6 fights and say, pick whoever you want. We have no say in it. We're just giving you $200 million, and we're taking a gamble with $200 million, and we're letting you make all the decisions. What kind of business room have you ever been in that they do that? I'll wait. Where do they give you $200 million and give you all the control? Where do they do that at? Where? So when you're coming up with these ideas, oh, Tank ain't sending the contract. Oh, Shakur. Nah. Whoa. If you don't know the ins and outs of business of boxing, these managers are the ones that talk, not the fighters. Because if you left it up to Tank Davis and Shakur, they'd fight in the middle of the street. They go at it in the middle of the street right now. But how much money are you going to make out of that? Nothing. So you need to keep these boys on a leash. You guys are going to fight. Let us work this out. We trying to get the most money out of both of you. Because we know that fight against Tank and Shakur, that's going to be a mega one. Even though Shakur Stevenson had, some lackluster performances, we all know styles make fights. We know. And we know that that's going to bring the best out of Tank, and that's going to bring the best out of Shakur. We know it. We know it. It's going to come. It's going to happen, right? But I think there's some ego shit going on there. So we're going to have to we sit back and wait on this one. I'm Joe Cordine for Shakur Stevenson. I can't say that I'm a little too thrilled about that pick right there. I mean, the last time I checked in the ranking, and the median was right under Joe. Yo, Shakur Stevenson, he went up one ranking. Joker D, right? He's ranked like number 13, 14 or something like that. And the Manian was ranked like number 14 in the world. So Joe's like number 13. He didn't make a big jump, huh? Yo, but it be like that sometimes, and it sucks in boxing. Let me hear what you guys are saying. Who do I think Naoya Inoue is going to fight in December? Good question. Good question. Who else is at 122 that you would like to see him fight? I mean, MJ is for me, I would think that everybody would think that MJ was the top guy, because technically he is the next number one guy besides Sam Goodman. And we see that Sam Goodman's not going to fight him. That's just, let's not lie to ourselves. Who does that? Who jumps in the ring, pokes out his chest, yo, I want to fight you, and then backs out of the fight, and then breaks his hand and says, not only did I not make the September date, but I'm not going to be ready to make the December date. Sam Goodman, right? By doing all this bullshit antics, it kind of threw in a monkey wrench, because it probably would have went Sam Goodman, MJ, right? Or we probably would have got I think Casamaro's too far out. I don't think he's even in shape enough. I think we saw the last of Casamaro's run. We might have saw the last of his run. He'll have a couple fights with some no-name fighters, maybe beat up on them, cash in. But as far as world title fights, I don't think we're going to see Casamaro in a world title fight. I'm not sure. Who else? Who else at 122 could you get? That's 126. Let me look at 122. Let me go back down. Stephen Kubo Fulton, obviously, and they wanted to fight. He's the number one. And he's fighting on Saul Canelo Alvarez's card September 14th. He could have got that fight. You know what I'm saying? So there's nobody. There's nobody but MJ and Goodman at 122. You're not going to get Price to fight him. Davis is not fighting him. Pacheco, he's not fighting. None of these guys can beat him. I want him to move up. I would really like him to move up. Staying around to defend against MJ, to beat on him, I mean, it would shut a lot of people's mouths up as far as, MJ could beat him, blah, blah, blah. Well, if MJ was that good, he should have held on to his belts and not let Marlon Tapales take his fight. If he was that good. All this screaming about, MJ's the one that's going to beat. Yeah, really? Really? Because the guy that beat him, Naoya Inoue, knocked him out. So the guy that's beating your guy, yo, listen, make it make sense. If MJ was that good, he should have kept his belt. That's all I'm saying. There's no one there, man. Cardina's 25-1. Price is 19-2. TJ Dohney's 26-4. Davis is 16-0. Luis Pantera you already beat him. Sam Goody 19-0. Agmedalia's record is 12-1. Marlon Tapala's record was 36-4. And Stephen Fulton's record is 21-1. And that one loss is, in fact, to Naoya Inoue. So, yeah, I think personally he beat everybody he needed to beat at 122. I would love to see if this is the moment or this is the fight where he declares and comes out, because I was looking at Naoya Inoue's ring entrances and his weights in his last two fights, and he's been over 2 pounds since the Stephen Kubo Fulton fight. What he came in on fight night on Stephen Kubo Fulton, the next fight, he was 2 pounds heavier. Luis Pantera Nari, he was 2 pounds heavier. So you can see in Naoya Inoue is trying to pack it on gradually, but at the same time, feel like himself inside of his own skin. See, Naoya Inoue understands the responsibility of a fighter. The responsibility is, did you take the fight? Did you get in the ring? You're responsible for the outcome. If you move up too fast and they beat you, whose fault is that? That's your fault. If you were motivated by money or pushed and fueled by the fans, and you made that decision to move up a little too early, whose fault is that? It's your fault. Naoya Inoue understands that, the responsibility of a fighter. And he's accepting it. He's saying, I'm going to gradually move up, put on the weight, and feel like myself as I move out through the divisions. And if you beat me, then I have nothing to complain about, and you beat me on the up and up. That's what he's saying. You see? So I can respect that. And when you can see that the Saudi prince came and threw around that $69 million rumored fight deal, and it turned out it wasn't that much money, but it was close to that, right? And you see Naoya Inoue didn't take that offer. Why? Because he wanted him to go out there and fight this guy, this Muslim Arabic guy, whatever, out there for no belt at a catch weight. Naoya Inoue said, I don't play boxing. I don't fight at catch weight. I never fought at a catch weight in my life, and I don't think I ever will, because a catch weight is not a real fight. It means that you didn't fight in any division. That's a fake fight. And it's not for any belts. And Naoya Inoue does not fight for interim belts or secondary belts. He doesn't have no secondary belts. In fact, in some of his fights, but in the first one, I think they learned their lesson when the sanctioning body was kind of humbled in the ring. Naoya Inoue wins his the title defense with the WBC, and they came in and they tried to put a secondary belt on his shoulder. They tried to like slide it in on his shoulder. And Naoya Inoue looked at the guy and took his hand out in the ring. There's only so many videos you can find on this because they cut it out. They don't want you to see this, but you can find it because I found the video. But I seen it live, but live in my house, not live over there, like that. But when they try to put the belt on him, he slid his hand out and he asked the guy, is that a real world title? And the guy goes, yeah, real champion. And he goes, no. Is that a real world title? And the guy said, no, it's a secondary belt. And now Inoue said, I don't accept it. He didn't accept it. Just like Mayweather didn't accept those belts neither. Zab Judah had a secondary belt. He beat him. He let him keep it. Shane Mosley had a secondary belt. He didn't take that belt neither. Floyd, they don't want the great champions. They don't want that belt. That's like you allowing the WBC to talk you into franchising your belt. That could, I don't understand how a man like such as Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko allowed them to put that kind of belt on such a man like that. Vasily's a 2 gold medalist, man. That's such a disrespectful belt. It's blatantly, the belt should just be like the cheaters, the WBC cheater belt. It should just say that, because you, at least you're being honest. Whenever you hear franchise, it should just say cheater right underneath. Because the reason why I say that, and I'm so harsh on it, I dare you, go read the rules on a WBC franchise belt. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you what they are. You don't believe me? Then you can go read it. But under the WBC structure as a franchise belt, the belt is saying that you basically give up the right to your super belt, is what you do. You have to have like the super belt, right? You give up the right to your super belt and you claim the right to still be the WBC world champion. By definition, that belt is what they're saying is a trophy, and you can't lose it in the ring. Meaning, if you fight a guy on that night and you have 2 other belts and that WBC franchise, you can only lose these 2. No one can beat you for a WBC franchise world title. You can't win it off another fighter. That's the rule structure of a WBC franchise. You can't win it off another fighter. That's a fucking cheating ass belt. The belt is supposed to be to recognize the fighter for their accomplishments in the WBC organization. Meaning you've been the WBC champion for X amount of years, and they feel like you merit like a super belt. That belt has all cheat codes. You can't win it off him. You can't defeat him for it. You can't even look at it. You automatically lose when you look at the WBC franchise. You look at it, oh, you lost. You fucked. There's no way of winning it. You can only be awarded it. And once you're awarded it, you can't lose it. How is that fair? Why do you think I call it the WBC franchise cheater belt? Why do you think I say that it's so embarrassing to put a champion under that kind of belt? That's embarrassing. Yo, what are they saying about you? Like, they convinced Saul Canelo Alvarez to take one of those franchise and Loma. I think Loma might have been the first person in the world to receive one. I think there's 3 current champions that are franchise in the world. I think so. Maybe there's only 2 left. I'm not sure. I think Saul Canelo Alvarez definitely still has his. And Saul had it in a different weight division. And he moved up to 68 and took David the Monster Benavidez. That's not a franchise belt. He had it at the lower weight division. So he don't got that franchise no more. Loma definitely don't got his. So who are the only franchise belt WBC champions in the world? And by the way, the WBC's organization is the only organization that has a franchise belt. No, WBO don't got a franchise belt. The WBA don't got a franchise belt. And the IBF does not have a franchise belt. The only organization that has is the WBC. That's when the fights are starting. Round 1 starts soon. Bam, bam. You know the belt's on the line tonight. I'm getting the paper and the pad out. We all going for it. We come together at Round 1 Sports Talks to call the fight. And the rules are you must call the round and call, the knockout, or you can call a decision and you have either unanimous decision, split decision, or majority decision. And you got to kind of pick the decision. So we try to see who knows what they're talking about and who can pick the fight. and we award you the Notre Dame belt here at Round One Sports Talk, where we call you Notre Dame because obviously you're picking these fights, right? So, right as of right now, Bam Bam is the suspect Notre Dame's belt because, as we all know, he got it on a decision. All right, that's you know what I mean. Come on, man. You know what I mean. I'm about to show y'all tonight how I get down. All right. Yeah, Bam Bam. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. It defeats the process. The purpose. It defeats the purpose of the belt. Yeah. Tell me about it. It defeats the purpose of you fucking going up and fighting for a belt. If on the night you fight a guy with a franchise, you knock him out and they tell you, hey, guess what? You can't win the belt. Yo, that would be crazy. Show them your Notre Dame's belt. Yo, yo. I hold on, hold up. The Notre Dame's belt. Bam! Yo, this is the Notre Dame's world title. Yo, Bam Bam, it's right here. You know what I'm saying? And Bam Bam's putting up the Notre Dame's world title tonight. He's saying he can call these fights like nobody's business. And you know why? Because he's the champion right now. Bam Bam Boogie. Bam! Notre Dame's world championship right now. Whoop! There you go. That's Bam's title right now. He's putting it on the line. Jarrett Hurt fight. If you think you can call fights better than Bam Bam Boogie, he says otherwise. Let it be known. How's that, Bam? How's that? You like that? Huh? How's that for representing for the belt? Huh? But guess what? That belt's staying right here. Cause I'm about to call these fights tonight. Road Rage and Armando, Ghost Rider, and Lionheart think they're gonna call fights better than us, Bam. You know what I'm saying? But yo, we about to show them. All right, we about to show them. Yo, is the Hurt fight? Is it on ESPN or I forgot to check what network it's on? Let me see. Hold on. And if it is, I gotta make sure to push my screen this way because last time we got a little fucking citation for that. No, I don't think it is. Well, that's. I thought that fight would probably more than definitely be on ESPN. What channel's the fight on, guys? Pro Box. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Taylor Hurd, 25, 17 knockouts. Almost 24, 41 with 18 knockouts. That's the Dominican dude that Uh, Charlo Twin punched in his stomach, and he had it. He looked like he was having kind of like a seizure or convulsion. I think he just hit him in the right place, right in the solar plex, right when he was taking the breath, and he caught him in between that. His stomach kept like contracting, and hard punch at all. It looked like he like, no, probably stiff into it, but yeah, he locked. His stomach started locking up. Like, who you guys got in this fight? Joseph still there. I agree with you. Boxing talk up north. Look, the people might want him to move up. We talked about this. I was talking about it a little bit. Now, yeah, he's move up still. Up in weight. He's just gonna do it at his pace. Because he told me I can beat him at just want to give you an opportunity at that. Like, you know what I mean? Philippines still saying Naoya Inoue. Come on, man. That's just hype talk. Casemiro was that guy. He'd have a belt. He'd be in the rankings. He'd be up top. He'd be the top guys. If Casemiro was really that dude. You know what I'm saying, guys? So all that shit about Casemiro punching in Naoya Inoue's face, stop it. Just stop the cap. Just stop the cap. You know what I mean? Just to attach your name to a great one. That's all. They're just trying to keep Casemiro's name irrelevant. Come on, let's just be honest, guys. You really think that Casemiro will give Naoya Inoue any kind of problems, guys? I doubt it. I think that Casemiro in his prime, when Casemiro was on fire on that streak, and he was kind of like that wow man. He had that lunging attack. Very people knew too much about him, and he was surprising. But the whole world knows about that fight style, and they've already defeated it several times. It's just Casemiro's figured out. He didn't know how to evolve in the box. Now Inoue is not the fighter every time he comes out. Casemiro is. And if you didn't change nothing in your fight plan, but just being a little bit faster or stronger than you already are, and somebody figured out a way how to beat you, you think they're not going to watch that tape? Study what that guy did? You're coming out, you're going to fight the same way. Casemiro didn't know how to evolve. That's why he's where he's at. On the sideline, wishing he had the fight against Naoya Inoue. Maybe he could talk his way into a fight. Because he so many times it's happened in the world of boxing lately. Like, tell you the truth, uh, fucking Ryan Garcia did not deserve that fight with Devin Haney. I don't give a fuck how he kicked his ass or the P scandal, whatever, right? But technically, he didn't deserve that fight against Devin Haney, right? No, he didn't. He won the fight, all right, whatever, and the P's, whatever, right? But what I'm just talking about is how people talk their ways into fights nowadays. And it's okay. And, Danny Swift Garcia here is moving into 160 to fight Lara, right? Does he deserve that fight at 160? So much, in fact, that the sanctioning bodies wouldn't sign for the fight for a title fight. They're actually fighting a pound up. Same thing they did to Tim Tszyu and one time Keith Thurman. They didn't fight at one. This fight was not scheduled at 154. it was scheduled at 155. 1 pound up so that the belt is not on the line. They'll let you fight. Yeah, you don't got no mandatory. You could do whatever you want during this period because nobody's, so you can box. But the guy you're fighting is not in our ranking system. He's not even in this weight division. He's just going to come in out of a 2 years retirement, walk in, hey, I want to fight the champion. And you just think that these guys were going to be cool with that. The reason why they can't be cool with that is because everybody else in the ranking system is starting to give them phone calls talking about, yo, wasn't I in line? Yeah, I might be the number 3, but at least I'm the number 3. He's not even in the division. So if you would have should have called anybody or gave him a shot at the belt, I might not be number 1. But I'm number 3, the number 4 guys behind me, the number 5 guys behind me, and they want to know why they didn't get a phone call. And all of a sudden, Dohney gets a fucking, no, you can't do that. So the sanctioning bodies to, not to stir up the pot, they didn't agree with the belt. They say, yeah, you can fight him, but you're going to have to fight him a pound up. That way the belt's not on the line. So even if Dohney beats him, he remains champion, and Dohney doesn't get a belt. Just in case you guys haven't read the fine print on the fight, I'm here to tell you, that fight is not for a belt. It's not. Just like the Keith Thurman fight wasn't for a belt neither. You got to pay attention to shit like that. So, that being said, I personally think that there's just nobody left for him at 122. There's just nobody left. The only person I really thought secretly, and I was like, yo, I was kind of hoping that he would get that courage, right, and step back up. And I wasn't bringing him up in some conversations for a reason. Because that was going to get me to be like, look, he's a dog. La, 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 right. Stephen Kubo Fulton. I thought he was going to come back for those belts. I thought he might have took that loss, right? And maybe fought him again at 126. I didn't think he was going to fight him back at 122. Thought he was going to go up to 126, Stephen Kubo Fulton, and perhaps contend for one of those titles. And maybe later in the future, they could meet up. But opportunity struck. Here we are. Here was your moment right there. Stephen Kubo Fulton fought that bullshit fight for Saul Canelo Alvarez fight card September 14th. When September 3rd, you could have got a bigger payday and a shot at all 4 belts. You could have got your belts back and took 2 more belts and been the first person to defeat him and stomp your name into the Hall of Fame. And I thought Stephen Kubo Fulton was going to come back. I thought he was going to be the guy. I said to myself, yeah, he might have lost that fight. He lost that fight bad, right? But you could learn a lot from that. A lot of fighters have learned from that. Now they know what they're facing with. Now, maybe he got hit with some big shots early and he had a good poker face, but he took a lot of damage already and he couldn't turn it around. And Naoya kept pouring it on, breaking him down till he knocked him out. The second time he could fight him, he would learn from that. He'll learn from that. He'll know what he could and couldn't do, and he'll try to implement. Could he beat Naoya Inoue? He's got a puncher's chance. He's at least got a puncher's chance, guys, right? Can we agree to that? You know what I mean? But that's who I thought was going to come back and finally give Naoya Inoue. But he didn't. He didn't. And that goes to show you, man, this Japanese dude is a real threat, man. He's a problem. He's a problem. What's up, Armando? What you typing in down here? Bam, you're lucky I'm passing on this one. Are you passing on this one, Armando? Armando, you're not in shape right now? You know what I mean? You're not taking a fight. Yeah. Armando don't want this fight right here. Jerry Hurt. Uh this Yo, Armando's crazy, bro. Hernando is his name, but we call him Armando. I'm not sure today. You're not sure, Armando? Not today. Not with this fight. I wasn't gonna really like stay on and watch the entire fight or anything like that. But I mean, it all depends. If you guys want to stay on and just watch it, we could do that. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be in and out though. I'll leave it on. We y'all can chop it up, talk whatever and shit, and we'll put the fight on. Where are we at now? This shit don't start till 8 p.m. It's 5:35. It's I mean 7. So fight fans, listen. Yeah. No, I'm not showing the fight. That shit don't. Thank you, Armando. Absolutely for looking out for the channel. Cause you know what I'm saying? Cause they'll block us. I mean, that's why I got this right here. It ain't showing till 8. I already knew that. This has got to go. You know what I mean? They'll shoot me down. You know, because all these other sports channels is crying because Round One Sports Talk is blowing up, quickly being one of the best YouTube channels in boxing, and they don't like it. They don't like that. So, listen, fight fans, listen, you guys have been amazing as always.
Another one.
You know we coming out for another one.
What did he say?
Yo, listen, fight fans. What does this button do?
A few moments later.
Oh yeah, that's right. That one does that. That's cool. Yo, fight fans. So listen, I can't wait to talk about these fights and more. Let's see, we go on tonight with the Jarrett fight. Bam Bam Boogie definitely doesn't mind that I do not go on because he remains champion, you know, and he might just remain champion until September 3rd, but that's when the reign ends. That's it. It's all over for you, Bam. All right. There will be a new champion on this channel, and we have a lot of new people coming in that want a shot at the belt, Bam. So you might have to worry. You might have to keep training, Bam Bam. You know what I mean? Get back in the gym. You know what I mean? Yo, fight fans. Listen, you guys are amazing. Please don't forget to like the videos if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channels, and like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys have been amazing. I've been your guest, Edwin. Thank you. Don't forget to give the video a like. And I'm out.